All right, we Timu Sunglass Shorty today. Like Abel Sanchez says, Crawford needs to stop Canelo Alvarez, the KO artist. He kind of been in exile since, Triple G and how he treated, and Triple G fired his ass too, and how he treated Andy Ruiz, if y'all remember that. But let me say, I want to get to the desk, but I'm gonna keep the software I use anonymous and see if they handle my dispute. And what they did was they canceled my subscription, which I had the premium subscription to this particular software. They canceled it because they raised the price. Now, usually they lock you into a price to use it, right? That's what they do. They lock you into a price. And I didn't even have my price reduced, and they just know things getting bad. So they canceled my subscription so I can say if I renew by the 22nd, I can get my locked in price, which I never canceled. I tried to renew. You can't. So they want to lock me in at a way higher price. I'm like, nah. So honestly, I'm going to see if they handle the dispute. If not, I'll be on the lookout. I don't really care for StreamYard. So I don't know. I have to find something else. So you have to bear with me till I find something else. These companies are shady as fuck, bro. Real talk. They super duper shady, but you see, I'll keep it anonymous. If they don't handle it, I'm going to put them on blast. What you got to do. Consumer Report. But yeah, he pretty much said that, if Crawford want to be considered, basically he don't want to be considered like a quitter. He got to go in there and try to knock and stop Canelo. Now, I don't know if he was also alluding to he wouldn't, win nothing on the scorecards. Now, he said something interesting about Canelo. And, he said he hasn't been hurt since a fluke punch by Jose Cotto. Okay? And one thing I noticed about Canelo Alvarez is a lot of the fighters that he fight, he see the punches coming. He's not really fighting like guys who are the who really got speed or that's really know how to are variety punchers. Everybody look at punching as power, but we talking about counter punching, combination punching. Let me know the best combination puncher Canelo fought, and I'm just playing the other side. He fights guys. He doesn't fight well-rounded punchers to begin with. And I don't think Crawford got a best chance in hell to win this fight, but I'm just giving you this perspective. He fights guys who don't really have the skill of Crawford. And think about it. How many guys have you seen go to Canelo's body with sustain a body attack or some type of body attack? That's the rule of thumb. If a guy got a great chin, he got a soft body. That's how you break him down to the body. So there's a ways to, really break guys down. He don't really fight guys that can break him down. He don't fight guys that throw a variety of punches. He don't fight guys. I think Triple G was the best variety puncher he fought. And Triple G, he didn't even go all the way through. He really kept his distance. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. And he said that, he's fought punchers all over and he doesn't see Crawford knocking him out. And he said something else interesting. He said ever since the Beaver fight, he don't try to knock fighters out. It's a sparring match. My thing is this. Why wouldn't you try to knock your opponents out? You don't get paid for overtime. You ain't really trying. If you really lazy, you ain't trying to get them rounds over with. I don't believe that rumor. I don't believe that rumor that he ain't trying to knock guys out. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I just think he lazy, he low energy, he can't move the way he move. He always been lazy. He's never been a high stamina guy. That's the thing about it. These fighters always allow him to fight at his pace. And the first Triple G fight was the first fight that he wasn't allowed to fight at his pace. And he was huffing and puffing in that fight, and then he popped hot for the next fight. So if he was on that shit huffing and puffing, imagine him off that shit huffing and puffing. You know what I'm saying? So there's a chance. Canelo's lazy. And he said, well, Crawford, if he can't run, he can't box, he got to go for you win the fight. But I see what he's saying. If he's talking about from a political standpoint, I definitely understand it. Because from a political standpoint, they ain't been scoring it for boxers. ever since his fight with Triple G. They haven't been scoring it for boxers. But guess what? You got to do what you got to do. You got to box. You got to box. And you got to bang. You got to box and you got to bang. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Pick and choose. That's what Mayweather did. He didn't run. Mayweather walked Canelo down, and then he boxed when he needed to box. It was a masterpiece. It was a masterpiece. He got to do something like that. You know, he got to do something like that. But if he can mix in some body work, he has some success. Canelo ain't fought a puncher like him. I'm telling you that. And I'm not talking about in brute power. I'm talking about variety, counter punching, combination punching. A guy that can finish. He ain't fought nobody. He ain't fought no puncher like Bud. Bud's an all-around puncher. Bud's a better all-around puncher than Mayweather. What are you talking about in the veracity and what tools he has as a puncher? Counter punching. He can lead. We've seen him get off to a fast start. He's a tremendous body puncher. What you want to throw? The hook, the left hook, the right hook, the uppercut, whatever. We've seen him drop Benavidez with an uppercut. You know, and that was off the combination. So I can make a case, you know, being pro Bud, from the pro Bud perspective, that he hasn't seen a puncher like Bud. An all-around puncher. It just ain't, you know, 1, 2, and one shot here. No, that motherfucker throw 3, 4, 5 them hoes. And, you know, and historically, he mixes his punches up. You know, you think about some of the finishes that he had, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes he just touched these guys and then he finish up with a hard shot. Look at the Sean Porter knockdown. You know, that second, I think that second right hook he threw, that's what did it. So he's a guy that'll punch your chest, he'll punch your body, you know, he gonna follow up with combination punching. So you can make a case that Canelo, you know, Abel at this point is a 1-2 puncher. He'll throw a hook here, but with Canelo, it seemed like he was mostly a 1-2 puncher, and rightfully so. It worked for him. But a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 puncher, whatever it is, jab, right hand, left hook, right hook, uppercut, like he can throw it all. And not only can he throw it all, he can throw them all in combination. He's a very creative puncher. That's the term. He's a very creative puncher. That's the thing about it. The biggest challenge is, can he take the punch and the physicality? And then we ask that, can he get the respect? And then you're not even talking about his ability to fight on the inside. Mayweather did a lot of cagey fighting on the inside. I think for a lot of fighters, the safest place is to be in another guy's chest. No Kanye, no Diddy, no Harvey Weinstein, no Kevin Spacey. That's the safest place to be. Canelo, I don't think Canelo can fight with him on the inside. That might be a game plan. Getting on the inside, getting up under Canelo's chest and fighting him on the inside. You know Canelo gonna throw 1, 2, 3, you know, he gonna throw winding shots. We know that. He gonna wind up his shots. That's a fucking fact. So we can't dispute that. He's going to wind up his shots. He gonna just wind them motherfuckers up. We know that. He gonna wind them up. He gonna wind his shots up. So when you're on the inside, when the guy is winding up his shots, or AK loading up his shots, you know, you can catch it and shoot. Catch and shoot. That'll be interesting. I think you may see a situation where he may fight that man on the inside. But I agree with Abel Sanchez. He's going to have a level of aggression. There's got to be a fine line with aggression and mixing in finesse. That's what it's got to be. Aggression and finesse. Nah, you know, should he come out more aggressive? I mean, that's subjective because you don't want to get caught with something early before you fill him out. But I remember him saying when you fight, Crawford said when you fight bigger fighters, the first thing you got to do is establish respect. So I believe he's the man of his word, he's going to establish respect. He's going to establish respect. And the best, and I always say this, man, and Andre Ward have said this too, you know, the best way to get respect versus stronger or bigger puncher guy that's perceived to be is go right at him. Punch him right in the mouth. That's the best way. That's the best way to get respect. So we'll see. That was go watch the interview on KO Sports. I read it on Boxing 24 News, whatever it is. Hit the link in the description. Follow me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Amazon, Kick, Twitch. Join the Patreon. Check my other channels out. Appreciate the love, support. Let me know what you girls and guys think in the comment section. Like I said, hit the link tree. Find me everywhere. Check out the Boxing News playlist. One time for the one time. Good for the TV. Peace.